In this video, we're going to discuss how to determine the sample mean from a frequency distribution. Actually, we're using a frequency histogram. Okay, so actually the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and make our frequency distribution table. Okay, so let's see what was provided for us. These appear to be class bounds. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll do that over here actually. So class bounds. All right, so the class bounds that were provided were, let's see, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and 20 to 25. Okay, and then the frequencies were 1, 2, 5, 3, 2. All right. So now I'm trying to calculate, so I have all this data, right? One observation was between 0 and 5, two observations were between 5 and 10, 5 were between 10 and 15, right? But I don't have the actual data, right? All I have is that 5 observations were between 10 miles ran per week and 15 miles ran per week, right? All right, so how am I going to calculate the sample mean if I don't have the data? All I have is this kind of more crude information. It's just saying that 5 people claimed that they ran between 10 and 15 miles, right? Okay, so to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that, okay, so 5 people ran between 10 and 15 miles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that all 5 of those people ran 12.5 miles. Now where did I get 12.5? That's the midpoint between 10 and 15. All right, so I basically assume that all 5 ran whatever the midpoint is. All 2 ran 7.5, 2.5, right? Whatever the midpoint is. Okay, so that's what I should first calculate is the midpoint, the class midpoint. All right, so remember to calculate the class midpoint, you could take the upper plus the lower plus the upper, divided by 2. So take the sum of the bounds and divide it by 2. So that'd be 2.5, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, and this is 12.5. 15 plus 20 is 35, 35 divided by 2 is 35 divided by 2 is 17.5, and then 45 divided by 2 is 22.5. Okay, so now I have one observation that ran 2.5 miles, 2 observations that ran 7.5 miles. Okay, so when I'm calculating my sample mean, what I should do is I should multiply. I'm going to go ahead and move my screen over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the frequency times the class midpoint. Okay, so, right, because, so this is going to be F times X. All right, I'm going to call X the class midpoints. Okay, so, and frequency is F. Okay, so F times X. So there's one observation that's 2.5. Okay, there's 2 observations that are 7.5. So we need to multiply those, basically I'm adding 7.5 twice, right? That's basically what multiplication is. So that would be 15. 5 observations that are 12.5. So that'd be 5 times 12.5. That's 62.5. Then I have 3 observations that are 17.5. I have to pull out the calculator for that one. So 17.5 times 3, 52.5. 52.5. And then lastly, 2 observations that are 22.5. So that would be 45. All right. So now once I have all of this, I want to sum it all up and divide it by the total frequency, right? Divided by the sample size, basically, right? The sample size is the total frequency. So actually, let me go ahead and find the total frequency now, n. N is the total frequency, sample size. So let's see, that's 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Okay, I'm going to sum up this. So this is basically the sum of all of my data. The sum of f times x is, remember this symbol means sum, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my calculator to sum this up. So let's go ahead and clear it out. Okay, 2.5 plus 15 plus 62.5 plus 52.5 plus 45. 117.5. Okay, so let's write that down. 117.5. All right, so let's take that sum and divide it by the sample size, and we'll get our sample mean. Okay, the formula for calculating sample mean from frequency distributions, this is what it looks like. The sum of f times x, the frequency times the midpoints divided by the sample size. Okay, so that'd be 117.5 divided by 13. Let's pull up the calculator again. Oh, I wrote 117, but it's actually 177.5. All right, let me change that here. 177. Okay, so be careful. 177.5, not 117.5. Okay, all right. So 177.5 divided by 13 is 13 point, if I round to one decimal, 13.7, right? That rounds up. So this equals 13.7. Okay, so the average number of miles ran per week is 13.7. When we look at our frequency histogram, 13.7 is, it's right about right here. That does look like a reasonable spot for the measure of center. On average, it appears that people run about 13.7 miles per week.